WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5.
Today marks 2 years since tragedy struck Michigan State University. 3 students lost their lives, 5 others were injured, and a campus was changed forever. It's our top story today at 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Jones. Spartans spent the day honoring those lost and finding strength in each other. Tessa Crash went to MSU's campus today to see how the community is remembering and healing. Tessa?
Yes, Sherry, 2 years ago, the East Lansing campus was devastated by gun violence. Today, the Spartan community came together to reflect, remember, and support one another. It was a somber scene on campus today. The rock was painted in honor of those who lost their lives, and flowers and messages were left behind at the base of the Spartan statue. There were no classes today. Instead, support spaces opened across campus, offering heated tents, comfort dogs, and hot chocolate. Mental health resources were also available, a reminder that healing takes time. I spoke with many students and community members today, some who were there when it happened, who all feel so moved by the support that's offered. One sophomore student named Caitlin Sullivan, who wasn't there for the incident, tells me how it still deeply impacts her, and she shared what the anniversary means.
This day means to just gather around each other and to be there for each other and to really take into account the changes that need to be made in our government and in our society. I think that this itself, since it is in a home state where I grew up, it speaks such volumes to me as to what action we need to take in order to protect our students and protect kids in the U.S. and all over the world.
Tonight at 6, we'll hear from MSU President Kevin Guskiewicz on what this anniversary means to him, and also show more about how the community is coming together to heal. Stay with 6 News as we continue to share stories of resilience and remembrance. Back to you.
Tessa, thank you. Today also marks exactly 1 year since Michigan's secure storage law went into effect. So now the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is teaming up with Michigan State Police to remind families that it's not too late to get a free gun lock. They are available at county health department offices and certain local health departments as well. Well, the state has distributed more than 56,000 free gun locks over the last year. The new law requires Michiganders to keep stored or unattended firearms loaded and locked with a locking device or stored in a lockbox or container if it's reasonably known that a minor could be on the premises. Moving from the state to the national level now, President Trump signed more executive orders this afternoon regarding tariffs. It comes ahead of a meeting at the White House with the head of India. Erica Brown is here for you with the latest from Washington.
President Trump signed an executive order Thursday to determine sweeping reciprocal tariffs on U.S. trade partners.
Whatever they charge us, we're charging them, so it works out very well.
The new tariffs would match what other countries impose on American imports, escalating fears of a global trade war and higher prices for American consumers.
Economists have said, time and time again that tariffs do end up being a bit of a short-term and potentially long-term effect on things like inflation. And obviously that affects price levels that we see on the consumer level.
The president's announcement came just ahead of a meeting with India's prime minister at the White House. The U.S. imports far more from India than the other way around.
India traditionally is the highest, just about the highest tariff country. They charge more tariffs than any other country. And we'll be talking about that.
The new tariffs are in addition to the 25% Trump already imposed on steel and aluminum imports earlier this week. President Trump also addressed his comment Wednesday that the U.S. would lead negotiations with Russia to end their war with Ukraine, saying he trusts Russian President Vladimir Putin when it comes to ending the war.
I believe that he would like to see something happen. I trust him on this subject.
Earlier in the day, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said his country will not accept any agreements without direct involvement in the talks. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
In the meantime, Senator Gary Peters joined his colleagues in calling for the Trump administration to immediately reverse its decision to shutter the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB provides relief to Americans who have been wronged by unethical practices from banks, payday lenders, and other financial companies by investigating and then addressing consumer complaints about financial products and their services. In a letter, the senators underscored how the administration's decision to close the CFPB and idle its nearly 2,000 employees will make Americans more susceptible to predatory lending and other deceitful financial practices, particularly service members and military families who are at heightened risk of being targeted by these tactics. Peters and the senators wrote, quote, "This funding, supervision, enforcement, and communications freeze will hit military families especially hard. Without a functional CFPB, military families will be stripped of their financial protections under the Bipartisan Military Lending Act." Well, the overnight winter storm left behind several inches of snow for us and some pretty dangerous road conditions. Clearing the street is a top safety priority for the city of Lansing, which sent out plows and salt crews right away. Karina Prieto is here for you now with an inside look at how they get it all done.
Lansing roads looked like this early Thursday, and like this just hours later.
It has now become a 24-hour operation.
The snow and ice doesn't just disappear.
Today is basically cleanup the best we can.
It takes a crew of about 20 people from many different city departments to clear the roads.
It's kind of, at this point, it has turned into all hands on deck.
And the process is complex. Drivers get their route assignments,
Jolly, turn around and bring it back. Okay.
Thoroughly inspect their trucks, and load up with salt before hitting the road.
Where exactly are you at?
Today, Kyle Wilkins with Lansing Public Service is part of a 3-truck team.
Equipment's going to break down. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just a matter of when. And it's never at the most convenient time.
Times like today.
Maybe he's got truck issues.
They'll start the morning with only 2.
Right now we are running 200 pounds per lane mile.
That's salt he's talking about. Thousands of pounds will be dropped throughout the day. The amount chosen here on this screen. And this controller helps crews clear paths.
So I'm carrying the snow with me instead of just leaving big piles.
The trucks work together to get the job done, each one in a different lane for the most coverage.
You're pushing everything. You're clearing the entire road, curb to curb at once.
And remember, keeping everyone safe is the top priority. And you can help by not shoveling the snow from your sidewalk back into the road.
Slow down, people walking.
There's a lot for these crews to think about and look out for, so be sure to give them space so you can enjoy a safe drive. In Lansing, Karina Prieto, 6 News.
Well, new at 5, the city of Lansing is extending the current Code Blue extreme cold weather emergency plan that was originally set to expire tomorrow. It will now be in effect until next Saturday, February 22nd at 8 a.m. The Code Blue plan enables local shelters to operate additional hours and temporarily increase their capacity. It also allows the Lansing Fire and Police departments to take those needing assistance to local shelters. If you'd like more information about this, just head to WLNS.com.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have a wide variety of snowfall totals across mid-Michigan from yesterday's winter storm. You can see the most significant totals over in portions of Shiawassee County at 7 inches as of this morning, 6.8 in Clinton County. Both Grand Ledge and Lansing reported 6 inches of snow, and then the lowest total that we have in Lenawee County right at 2 inches. Where you see those NRs in Calhoun and Branch County, that means that we have no confirmed reports sent in from the National Weather Service as of now. Live Storm Tracker 6 Doppler radar shows more snow falling across the area this evening, and there's a lot of it. We do have a couple of heavy bursts of snow occurring within these lake effect snow bands, so keep in mind if you are traveling outside this evening, you could encounter a very brief period of reduced visibility. Good news is we dry things out as we go throughout the overnight hours, holding on to mostly cloudy conditions across the area. It'll be a very similar situation as we move throughout our Friday. Notice completely dry from start to finish. That just gives us kind of of 1 day to catch our breath before a second area of low pressure moves in. Right around midnight Friday night into early Saturday morning, this next system moves in, bringing another round of widespread and potentially heavy snowfall to the area. We are going to start to wrap some dry air into this system Saturday afternoon and evening, so a brief dry period before again this area of low pressure actually slides off to our northeast, bringing us some more scattered snow showers just in time for our Sunday. So in terms of additional snowfall that we are looking at from this next system, I think in general we can pick up another widespread 3 to 6 inches of snow. Isolated amounts a little bit closer to that 7 or 8 inch mark, not completely out of the question, but of course we'll be able to narrow down exactly where those heaviest bands of snow will occur by the time we get into the day tomorrow. Notice after this system passes, we're going to have a blast of Arctic air moving into the area. By early next week, notice those high temperatures dropping well below the average mark, with highs in the mid to low teens across the area, and a few days where overnight lows are actually going to be below zero. Good news is, though, it doesn't last for long. We return right back into the mid to upper 20s for the second half of next week and even into the weekend. Even though we are warming things up, overall temperatures not only just staying below average, but below the freezing mark as well. We have widespread cloud cover over at the Capitol right now. Temperatures outside currently at 20 degrees after a high of 26 and that peak wind gusts of 35 miles per hour. So some pretty significant wind chill temperatures in place as we went throughout the day. We're also at 20 degrees over in Grand Ledge, similar situation in Jackson. Widespread cloud cover, a high of 29 degrees, just 10 degrees warmer than the temperature that we woke up to. And our final stop in Hillsdale, you can see some snow still piling up on the roads, with temperatures currently at 19 degrees. As we go throughout the overnight hours, we fall down to an overnight low in the low teens. Again, dry just in time for Valentine's Day before that weather aware day pops up as that next system rolls in for the start of the weekend. A few additional lake effect snow showers on Monday. The good news is, after kind of these back-to-back systems, there's a lot of dry air next week, so we have a lot of time to actually catch our breath before that next chance for snow moves in next weekend.
That's right, we can catch our breath, but the snow with those temperatures not going anywhere.
Yeah, so a lot of people still going to be doing a lot of shoveling this weekend.
Right. Thank you, Kendall. Coming up on 6 News at 5, while last night's snow made for some tricky driving, it also allowed for some winter fun. We're going to show you how some kids spent their bonus day off when we return. Thanks for watching 6 News at